Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here at the News Forum with Jean Simard as my guest, President and CEO of the Aluminium Association of Canada. One final question just on this tariffs WTO ruling, Jean. I just, again, trying to figure out what China is up to, what their recourse is, what their strategy is. Do you think that this ruling will mean that China uses tariffs less frequently in the future?
It's very hard to say. China always moves for China. They're so big, they have critical mass, and they're very adroit politically on the world scene. So it all depends what they're looking for in using those tariffs, and what is the state of their relationship with other countries. And let's remember that the U.S. was not this recourse between China and the U.S. also involved a series of other countries, including Canada.
Right.
So as I said, there's a lot of politics involved in this, and time will tell how China decides to pick the fight once again.
Gotcha. Let's get back a little bit, step back, maybe look at it from a more holistic angle. Can you tell us sort of generally what the demand for aluminum is these days?
It's a very interesting question. I think to answer it, firstly, I must take you back to the U.S. the most recent U.S. industrial policy announcement, which is the Inflation Reduction Act, and this has historical effect, never seen before, on probably most of the industrial sectors in the U.S., but far more so in the sector of electrification. Basically, the purpose of the IRA is to decarbonize the American economy by injecting a tremendous amount of money. We're talking about trillions of dollars, and letting the market find the solutions.
Gotcha.
It's an accelerator to get faster where they were trying to get before. Decarbonizing means electrifying. Electrifying requires a tremendous amount of aluminium. The World Bank, and it's in one of its latest reports, coined aluminium as being the single high-impact transversal material, the only material that is required all the way from renewable energy generation. A solar panel is made out of 88% aluminium as its components, primary aluminium. Transmission lines, 100% primary aluminium. And then the whole battery environment is about 23% aluminium, plus a lightweighted car to be able to counter the battery weight. So basically, this is projections for increase in demand just for the United States from here to 2030. That's 5 years down the road, is an additional 1 million tons a year just for electrification purposes to decarbonize. 1 million ton is the equivalent of a third of what we produce in Canada in a year. And just to give you numbers, the US right now consumes about 5 million tons of primary metal. They produce 700,000 tons.
Right.
Canada produces, with its 3.2 million tons annually, 80% of all the primary metal produced in North America. So we have a very strong position going in for the decarbonization of North America as driven by the U.S. policies.
Yeah, it seems that in the wake of green transition, that aluminum is even more of demand than before. That's what you're telling me.
It is, and if you want to make sense, Tony, out of this, and as a former member of the Canadian government, you know that it's very important to be coherent in policy making. And if you're going to decarbonize using aluminium, you might as well use decarbonized aluminium.
Right.
So when we go in with our low carbon footprint metal in the US, our competition is India, it's coal-based, 100%. It's the Middle East, which is natural gas. And it's the US, which is coal-based.
Right.
So the only metal that goes in, which is low carbon,
this is an important
comes from
point.
Canada.
Exactly. And I want to follow up on that. We are going to take another break, though. So hold that thought, Jean. We'll be right back with you
Okay.
after these messages.